Broken abilities have the potential to completely take you out of the game.
Through a flash.
Wow.
Oh my god.
White stairs.
In bathroom. Oh my god, Bolo.
At the end of it, we often find ourselves asking, how did anyone think putting this in the game was a good idea? Some of them belong to characters that really didn't need the help, while others are just broken all on their own, but all of them make people ask, why did they do this? Just before we get into this video, make sure you are subscribed to theScore Esports, and that way you'll never miss a video just like this one. And with that, let's get into the top 10 broken abilities. Kicking off our list at number 10, it's the time Dota 2 became a 6-on-5 game.
The battle begins.
Chen's Holy Persuasion ability usually lets him make friends in the jungle, but in Dota's patch 6.75, he was able to make a slightly bigger friend. That's right, Chen's Persuasion was bugged and now worked on Rosen. Not only that, he could do this at level 1. That meant Rosen could head into lane with Chen and push towers with his team, winning the game pretty fast since Rosen is immune to all damage when he's not in the pit.
Dire's Ancient is under attack.
This got fixed pretty quickly, which is why it isn't higher up on the list, but for the brief moment Chen could take Roche out for a stroll, it was an extremely overpowered ability. Taking the number 9 spot on our list are StarCraft 2's Infestors and their fungal growth ability.
Positioning his army so he can protect this fort, but as this moves closer, oh my god! Fungals on everything! The Sterlings pick up all the Marines, all that's left of the Thors and the tanks, and he does clean it up. A pickup by Marine King, but Stefano waiting for the perfect moment and completely decimates the army.
Look, StarCraft is a complicated game, but one thing is always true. If you can destroy a bunch of your opponent's units and lose nothing in the process, that's going to be a winning strategy. During StarCraft 2's first iteration, Wings of Liberty, a dominant Zerg strategy coalesced, playing for late game and building the new Infestor unit. It actually had a number of good abilities, but the ability we're talking about that would eventually be nerfed was Fungal Growth, a 4-second immobilize to air or ground units that also dealt damage and prevented units from getting into a transport unit or from transforming.
Genius is still on 3 bases. Yeah, he is. That's quite true. He's going to have to hit some sort of timing attack coming up here. Oh! Nice bungle. Very nice bungle indeed. And it looks like the Phoenix harassment and defense is over with.
So, the strategy was pretty simple. Get some Infestors, use Fungal Growth several times to lock down your enemy's grouped unit, and then send in your Broodlords to attack from a safe distance. It basically prevented your opponent from playing the game.
And you can see that 70 Marines, they're slowly getting worn down. He brings in some extra Hydras. He's got about 12 Hydras. And so with 12 Hydras, he's going up against this army that once was 70 Marines. Taking some out, but losing some Hydras. Backs up a little more because he wants to get that separation from those medevacs. But this strategy with the Infestors of fungal growthing low HP units works very well.
Fungal Growth and Infestors are still usable today, but are far from their initial dominance, thanks in part to nerfs to the ability, as well as the introduction of new units to counter their ability. Coming in at number 8 is Prophet's Tempest from Call of Duty Black Ops 4.
Damn, I could have had a 3-piece too.
Who are you? Ooh, a 5-piece, bruh.
Look, Black Ops 4 had some truly busted specialist abilities, and in several cases, specialists were banned completely from competitive play. But one specialist that made it through had a piece of equipment that terrorized the competition: Prophet and the Tempest bolt-action rifle.
Bro, if we could do this right... Wait. Bang. What? It run out?
The The weapon fired electrified projectiles that knocked enemies down, allowing them to be picked off with ease. Add to that the fact that the electricity could arc to nearby targets, and it felt like a pretty unfair piece of kit, and players like Dashi became known for making the Tempest into a living nightmare for their opponents.
Through, we'll be looking for that Hellstorm as well. One more would do it. Oh my God! What was that? Oh! Are you kidding? Who does that?
Taking the number 7 spot on our list is the single most broken ability from Smash's most broken character, Meta Knight's Mac Tornado from Brawl. Every single part of Meta Knight's kit in Brawl was so broken, he was the best character in the game by a mile. Kirby's Dark Rival had so much going for him, and all of his special moves had a place, but the cherry on top was Mac Tornado, his neutral B move that turned him into a whirling force of destruction.
Oh, I just got Brawl. Wait, a fun game, a fun new game. I just, game's brand new, I've been playing it for a week, or I'm not that good, and then they run into this move, and they're like, I quit Brawl. That one was funny.
Mac Tornado did it all. The thing shredded shields, gave him another mobility option that he definitely didn't need, and actually did a ton of damage. Sure, the rest of Meta Knight's kit was broken as well, but Mac Tornado would have been the best move in the game on any other character. But instead, they gave it to the best character in the game, and it was a nightmare.
It's not biased, we're just...
It's real commentary.
Yeah, it's Jason.
The number 6 entry on our list is another glitched out Dota ability that really broke the game.
The Necro kills... Oh, I feel so bad for my controller right now.
It looked like EG are just having a really good time. It's literally Artesian Fear against 5 in the enemy base. The other heroes didn't even join.
And they're kiting for Select so
looks
hard
like it's
right
business now.
Ark Warden is not a Dota 2 hero who usually buys Divine Rapier, a powerful late game item that's dropped when its owner dies. That's because the weapon has no effect on the clones created by the hero's Tempest double ability, a specific exception in the ability's description. And that exists because when the hero came out, the clones created by Tempest double were able to gain the benefits of the rapier, but did not drop it when they died. It's no surprise that this interaction was changed, and now if you're an Ark Warden player, there's no need to agonize over that rapier purchase. At the halfway point on our list might be the only ability that was broken on purpose, Yun's Zesho Ho-Ho from Street Fighter IV Arcade Edition. When Yun came out with Super Street Fighter IV Arcade Edition, players immediately complained about the EX version of his Zesho Ho-Ho. It was a nearly screen-wide dash punch that was completely safe on block.
As I'm sure you guessed, EX Dash Punch itself is fantastic for pressure, since it puts you point blank and plus even on block. If your initial pressure string didn't pan out, just EX Dash Punch and try again.
Maybe it wasn't the only strong part of the character, but it was one of the moves that seemed to frustrate people the most. And when the beast himself, Daigo, decided to pick up Yun instead of his favoured Ryu, it was pretty clear something needed to be done.
一つにはその前の年にオンラインゴッツガーデンで、すげえ自信あったんだけど、まあ一勝しかできなかったのかな。で、まあ最下位ではないのかな。まあとにかく順位があんまり良くなくて、で当時プロ俺しかいなかったんです確か。でやっぱそれはすごくショックだったので、でやっぱりねその時俺が思ったのはこんなに頑張ってんのに、いつの時代も思うことだけど。
By EVO 2011, Capcom was apologizing for the state of Yun and promising fixes, which eventually nerfed the insane Lunch Punch. It was a big reversal from a previous interview where Capcom's Yoshinori Ono talked about how Arcade Edition was intentionally unbalanced, with Yun being broken on purpose. But all things are cyclical, and eventually Capcom went right back to buffing this stupid punch.
To help give him another option to close in on the opponent, Yun's EX Lunge Punch has been adjusted so that it is now slightly more advantageous on block. This means that Yun will be able to get in without being punished as easily as before.
Taking the number 4 spot on our list is Blackbeard's Shield from Rainbow Six Siege.
The reason why Blackbeard is as powerful as he is right now is that he can basically claim an entire room by himself with not really putting himself at any disadvantage whatsoever.
In Siege, a headshot from any gun at all is an instant kill, so players learn to go for headshots pretty quickly, but everyone had to unlearn that habit when Blackbeard dropped in year 1. His gadget was a rifle that attached to his primary weapon and covered, you guessed it, his head. Back then, the shield had 800 health, meaning when he turned the corner and you went for the head, you damaged his shield and he killed you.
So when I'm playing Blackbeard, what I'm trying to do is hold down lines of sight, use his rifle shield to my advantage, and I'm basically asking people to peek me. I'm hoping that people will peek me because of the rifle shield. I have an advantage and I should win that gunfight.
The way the shield works now in Siege is that it has enough health to give you a split second's advantage. You still lose gunfights if you're too slow. With the shield in its current state, it seems unlikely to dominate the meta anytime soon, but back in its glory days, it was broken. The first member of the top 3 club is Mercy's original res, and for all you OGs out there, here's a sound that should trigger some nightmares.
Heroes never die.
If you played Overwatch in the early days, you remember it. A Mercy hiding behind a crate or in a side path, watching her teammates die en masse, all so she could dash in, ult, and undo an entire team fight single-handedly.
Heroes never die.
Thank you, Mercy.
Mercy's original ult resurrected all dead teammates in range. No line of sight needed. That meant all Mercy needed to do was stay safe and not fight until a huge 5-man res was needed. The problem was pretty obvious. If an enemy team popped all their ults and cooldowns to kill your team, and then your Mercy resurrected them all, then the enemies had no way to fight back. The res was broken. Ultimately, Mercy's ult was turned into a mobility and healing output increase, and she was given a slow, single target res that puts the medic in a pretty dangerous spot during the cast. The runner-up spot on our list goes to what might be League of Legends' oldest broken ability, Twisted Fate's original E.
Twizzler's E was Gate. Yes, the teleporting ability that is now the second activation of his ult used to be on a basic ability. It could be on an 18-second cooldown late in the game, and not to mention, it was global. Level 1, if you wanted to be troll, you could take your E and just hop into the enemy's fountain, just because.
So back in the League of Legends Alpha, Twisted Fate's E, Gate, let him teleport anywhere onto the map with a 3-second cast time. If you don't understand just how broken this is, the only way to teleport in League now is to use certain champions' ults or the teleport summoner spell, which takes about 4 seconds to cast and has at least a 240-second cooldown. Needless to say, quick, easy teleporting was broken. Twisted Fate was the ultimate ganker. He could appear anywhere at any time, and even if he died, he could return to lane immediately after respawning with Gate.
Lock a gold card in the fountain, Destiny, and then Gate directly behind them. Keep in mind your auto attack damage is almost negligible, so prioritize positioning for your second gold card over auto attack, assuming they live through your initial gold card wild card combo.
This ability was eventually rolled into Twisted Fate's ult, and while Gate was an incredibly busted ability, it really compounded the other advantages the character had as well. Alright, here it is. Taking the number 1 spot on our list is an ability so broken it literally changed the way Siege was played and led to the first competitive quarantine in the game's history.
What makes Lion so powerful? Well, a lot of people say just stay still, but that's not easy when you're getting flashed, or pushed, or jackaled, or rushed in by a shield.
Yellow just stood still just now, and what happened?
Lion's EE-1D drone essentially gave Lion's team wall hacks. When used, it highlighted enemies that moved during its duration through walls. Pretty nuts when a lot of walls are destructible. And since standing still in Rainbow Six Siege is about as safe as trying to breathe salt water, it was an oppressive ability that locked down the defenders.
Well, we were in Atlantic City in the Pro League finals, and my monitor broke in warm-up. So we were warming up, I don't remember against who it was. But my job was to play Lion, even though I hated him as much as I did. So the admins came and took my monitor off my table. And I still got 2 assists by just pressing 4 on my keyboard without having a monitor in an FPS game because I had a broken overpowered operator.
The ability led to an era of Siege where attackers could choose to move quickly, and it also made retakes pretty difficult. After Lion was effectively banned from pro play, he returned with huge nerfs, and honestly, good riddance. Alright then, those were some pretty broken abilities. I do know that there are tons more out there though, so please let me know in the comments if you think there's an ability that really should have been on this list. Thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you all in the next one. No, I was just practicing. I just send it to you and it's just me going like subscribe to the yeah.